Okay. Hello, Internet. We're going to just go ahead and jump right into it. I am here with Watch Then Friend, who is trying to learn some things about Python and has a project that I'm going to try and give some help with. So I would like, when Watch Then Friend, I would like you to introduce to me what it is you've been working on.
Hello, greetings. Thank you so much for even attempting to help me. Oh my gosh, I felt like such a lost cause, but you've been so generous and gracious with your time and expertise to help me out with this. What I think is a small project, but what do I know? So anyway, let me describe it. I've been trying to describe it as simply as possible. I might fail and help me wherever I am failing. Okay, so you are a user who has a ton of data that they may need to input into some kind of fields. I don't know. It's like a customer sign up field, it's like a checkup field. Who knows what kind of fields you might need to input a ton of data into. So you have this ton of data and it's stored as a comma separated value data thing, CSV, as you will. So my intention, and a little side note, I've already built this. I've made this and I've made it work. But the only thing is I've made it work in some very small language known as Autohotkey, and I'm trying to rebuild it into Python. So again, this program takes a set of data that a user wants to input into a multiple of fields. And so this program reads the CSV and remaps your keyboard's number pad, the thing that says 1 through 9,
Mhm.
and presents you with a GUI on the screen. And instead of the GUI showing you squares that says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, each square has an element from that user's data set that they desire. So element 1 will be mapped to keyboard number pad 1, element 2, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. But oh my gosh, my data set has way more than 9 elements. So my keyboard, my number pad keyboard, only has 9 keys. Well, my program uh,
Oh, I
it
think I see where this is
reduces
going.
it reduces your data set to a single array. So 1 through 9 are the elements 0 through 8 on your array. And then when you press the plus button on your number pad, it increments the watching one thing. So instead of the first element being on the number key 1, it goes away, it disappears. And the thing that was on the number key 2 goes over to number key 1, unless you hit control plus, and then it shifts everything by 9. So
Mm.
it's very nice and convenient. And the GUI is constantly showing you what each number pad button will print or copy paste to the user's cursor location. And the reason I came up with this idea is I was filling out a ton of freight shipping forms, and something would happen, and like the browser would close, and I would lose a ton of what I thought was static data, like my business company name, my address, the customer's company name, the customer's address. I thought all of that was like really easy to store, but when the page crashed, all that data was lost. So I had like a CSV that stored all of my customers' data, my data, the data I use regularly on a daily basis in some spreadsheet. And then when I knew I had to fill out some form that required like the phone number of one company I use, the email of one company I use, I could just use my number pad and press plus 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 minus 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 to get the appropriate customer's data set into my number pad. and make it really easy to just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste without actually having to copy paste. So that's why I call it the copy paste on steroids for the EasyLine printer.
Okay, that's that makes sense to me. I don't have any questions about the concept of the program. I think I'd like to ask. Oh, pardon me, my diabetes machine is making a noise. It's dismissible. I'd like you to describe this file that we're looking at now. We're looking at sample csv.csv.
So this is yeah, we're looking at the sample of what a customer's are you like how do like okay. Let me back up a second. I have no formal experience with programming, so like I might not be using the proper naming culture for things like this. So I created the CSV just so that I could test this program. So what we're looking at now on the screen is that sample CSV where perhaps item one is like customer name, first name, customer name, last name. But then item one is like customer two first name,
Mm-hmm.
Customer two last name, and customer two email or whatever it is. This is just a dummy kind of CSV file that I'm using to debug my program and making sure that it's reading the file and assigning all of the elements. Like as you can see here, this is not a one-dimensional array. There are rows and there are columns,
I did
but
notice that.
my program it reduces everything to a single array because my program doesn't care once you get to the end of line one that there are still enough lines, enough elements, element one, element two, these are all elements. My program doesn't care that there are only 4 elements in your first line. All my program cares is how many elements to assign to the number pad. And then once that increases too much beyond 9, then that's where the plus and minus button come in, and they increment the program
So when your
by
program
an
loads
element,
that in, is it going to see it just as basically a flat list?
a flat list. So let's go into the file reader here.
Okay.
So I gosh, I again, like I've needed so much help with programming. This is what I've found to work to define a 1D array from a multiple array. All I want is a single array from a 2D array because that's what a spreadsheet is going to give us, a CSV is going to give us.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to give us a multiple dimensional array, but I don't want that. I just want one array. So I have it converting it to a 1D array and then just returning that, return the 1D array of everything that you've read. Because all the program cares is what fits on the number pad. So if you have 12 items in your first row, then items number 10, 11, and 12 won't be seen.
Correct.
But that's okay. Because once the user presses the plus button, item number 1 will no longer be seen, but item number 10 will for the first time be seen. And something I've built, again, like I said, for the Autohotkey version of this, if you press Control plus, it increments by 10. So, if you've already seen all of the inputs you could possibly provide by pressing 1 through 9 on your numpad, and none of those are proper, like your customer list or your customer item thing is 9 items long, you just press Control plus and it increments to the next customer, basically. Yeah, I don't know where to, like, well, that's like a minor thing. Like the most important thing is that it maps what it reads from the CSV file to the first 9 elements, to the first 9 number pad buttons, and then anything beyond that, pressing plus or minus will reveal the additional elements.
In this read list, it's going to how do I say this? It's going to take in as many as they are, right? It's not limited to 9, is it?
Exactly. It's not, this read list is only returning an array of what it read as a single array. So like you could provide it a spreadsheet of something with 27 columns and 7,000 rows. It won't matter. It won't matter. This program doesn't care how many elements you have in your CSV. It's only going to display what your current lenses. I don't know. I don't know how to define it. So when you open this program, it only shows you the first 9 elements of the red file. But let's say you have some important information on the on like some additional lines. Well, then you just press the plus button on the number pad, and it increases. It moves, not increases. It moves what it's looking at, which elements it's looking, which 9 elements is the GUI is looking at, and
So here,
displays that on the
so
GUI.
here I see the code for reading in the file and having that as a Python list. So that all looks functional.
That's done. I finished that. I'm really proud of it. I'm
Okay.
so happy. Oh my god. Hang on. Sorry.
It's okay.
Uh, where am I? Oh, I gotta go to Adam. Okay, so where I'm stuck at is like the GUI builder and the keyboard watcher, and I'm not sure like whether I can just use Tkinter or like whether I should use something like Pinput, which I read about, or maybe Autohotkey GUI, or maybe something else, like PyClip, like somebody recommended.
What
Um,
if we made a command line version of it so we get the logic, the data handling logic taken care of before we even build out any buttons?
I have no command line logic. Okay. That's why I started with the source reader, right? Because, I wanted the program to first, you know, get the target file, because the expected user experience would be to open this application and for the application to read the last loaded file. Or if there was no last loaded file, to read some default file. So that was kind of the whole idea behind just this source reader. So like I'm really proud of the source reader. I feel like I've gotten it like just as good as I can get it, really. And like this is where I've been asking for some outside help, for mentors' help. Like, where do I go from here? Do I go for the GUI builder, or the thing that builds the thing that the user sees, or do I go for the thing that the GUI the functions read, like the things that the program actually does when the user interacts with the GUI? Like I don't know where to go.
So to give you perspective on what I do and don't know, I have not built I have built with tkinter a very simple, it had checkboxes and it had a go button. Um and
Oh my god, dude! Like I
I,
can't find this file. I'm sorry to interrupt,
oh, go
but
ahead.
like I can't find this file. It's probably on my older laptop. But like I literally had a working version of this, like almost to my ideal specs, built solely in Autohotkey, where I had a GUI on the screen and I had a drop-down menu where the user could select a watch file, and it displayed like a number pad. And if the element was too long for the number pad square to display, it scrolled through the text. It scrolled through the element. And I thought that was so cool that like I was able to build that in Autohotkey. But like I know that Python is just like a more powerful language. It's a more it's a different level language that like I really need to learn. So that's like the whole inspiration behind this. I've built this before. I know it can work. like I'm just trying to build it in a language I'm not familiar with, using packages for Python. So yeah, yeah, that's yeah, kind of my 2 cents.
Let me remind myself, because I think I have some code that I have written in the past that is going to help us. Um,
Like this is like what you're seeing on the screen right now is Pinput, which I'm not familiar with at all. I'm not familiar with any of the Python kind of libraries, and I don't like it, man. Like I'm not a fan.
I
It's
think tkinter is. Let me just check something. Can tkinter
do
recognize
hotkeys.
hotkeys or
Can't do hotkeys.
key
Or like,
presses?
can like Python, can I build something in Autohotkey and tell Python to recognize it?
How to detect key press and tkinter in Python. Bind functions are applied to an event. Whenever an event is raised to the corresponding handle, will be called root.bind key, comma, key pressed.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So that looks like we can do that in tkinter. So I think tkinter is the way to go.
Like like tkinter can like completely take over, because like
Except
I
for
don't know if
the
you look.
paperclip to
I mean,
interact with your
that's so
computer's.
basic. It's like what copy paste. Like
It's just copy
it
paste.
was. That's such a quick read. I wish you had told me it was only two two methods. Is that wait? Is that the right term? Two the method or function? I don't know. But Piperclip looked like it was just only two functions or two methods. Very basic.
It's a lot of implementation detail under the hood, I think, to make it
Under the hood,
cross-platform.
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, for
But it's
sure.
as it's only as complicated as it needs to be, I think. Um, I'd like to what I'd like to do is decide on a small unit of functionality that we can add to this.
Mhm.
And I think
I mean,
what we
that's
could
my.
what
Sorry, go ahead.
what we could do next is take the file reader, read into it, select something from it, and copy that to your clipboard.
Eh,
How does that sound for a next step?
I guess. I mean, um, copying something to the clipboard, like through what I've seen through PyClip, just seems so trivial compared to the other issues that I
So
am
what's an issue
come across.
that you're stuck on, that you feel like you don't know how to go forward
All
with?
right, you see my screen right now?
I see your item one, item or
Yeah, yeah,
one
yeah.
item two, etc.
Like what? Like the thing I want, because passing each of these elements to PyClip seems pretty easy. The difficult thing I would think about is, all right, so my GUI, which only has, well, it has 9 squares and then 2 additional for, incrementing up or incrementing down. But the 9 squares, all they really need to do is display I square the numpad 1 when you first load this program should read 1 item 1. Numpad 2, instead of reading 2, should say 1 item 2, etc., etc., etc. That's like the crux of my idea here, is that there's a GUI where whatever data the user loads, they can see what they're going to print when they press that button.
Okay, I think we can hack away at that for a while. So let's go to your tkinter file.
Yeah, it's empty. Fuck, man. I'm so sorry.
No, that's
Where is it?
okay.
Where is it? Did I put it somewhere? Where did I put that?
I saw it a moment ago.
I know, me too. You know, let's see. Easy line print. is very empty.
Oh, so this is a new file. Okay. It's complaining about the import of tkinter. Is it not installed in your environment?
I'm not sure how. Let me see. Was
Uh,
that pip thing?
oh, it's ER. TKINTER.
Oh, I've never learned how to read.
Maybe it's still complaining. Hover over.
I just opened a command line and installed it. It might not be installed in my system.
That might be the issue. I don't know how much Adam is aware of your system installation.
Well, command line's struggling right now to understand whether or not I did. So,
Well, we can move
yeah,
past that for now.
yeah, okay.
I'm gonna send you in Discord command that, like, one at a time. I'll send you.
Standing by. All right. Wait. So what? Okay.
Yeah, let's.
I'll let you.
Oh,
I'll let you keep
import.
going. But like, yeah.
Yeah, this could use some.
I'm noob.
This could use some explanation, and I can give you some explanation here. We actually have to add something to line 1, which is after import tkinter, type as tk on the same line. There. Yep, just like that.
Oh, you know what I didn't do.
You know what? It doesn't know that it's a Python file. That's why it's complaining.
Yeah.
So rename the file.
Rename .py. There we go.
Oh, that looks so much better. Your editor is so much happier now. So import tkinter as tk. That imports the Python package and makes it available in the variable name tk. And
so tk root. So this says that there is a method that we've imported from tk-tinker that's called tk, and we're going to name it tk.tk so that we can make it easier, but just using the variable as root instead of having to respell everything.
Yeah, and from tk we call the method tk, which is I think like starts an instance of tk. And next command that's coming your way is frame equal tk.root. Hey, we have a chatter in Twitch, CTYJR. Is this for me too? Is this beginner friendly? Depends. It's right now I'm putting things at a level for watch then friend to understand, and
Yeah.
If that, so hang out and find out if it's at a level that makes sense for you. And if you have any questions that you want to interject, please feel free to do so in the chat. I'm happy to field those as well.
And if I may introduce myself as a very, very amateur programmer, very self-taught, no formal training at all. Just, reading documentations and tutorials on YouTube. This is my only experience. So this is literally, this is the first formal training I've ever had in coding.
Okay. So frame is I'm not that familiar with TK, but I think frame refers to like the box that
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
That comes in.
That makes sense to me. Yeah.
And I don't know what this frame.pack command exactly does, but it's in this tutorial, so we're gonna use it. And then the next one, don't copy all of this code, but copy the first let's make a different text. Yeah, text is whatever text. FG, let's make that a color. It probably needs to be a recognized color, so let's make it like blue.
Hmm.
Oh, we got City Jar. Can I call you City Jar? That seems like a reasonable interpretation of that name. From Twitch says, I know some of these things I'm trying to self-learn too. That's great to hear. C2JR also says, is this screen share why it looks just should I say CTY or city? Is this screen share why it looks blurry while your cam looks perfectly fine? That is an interesting question. Let me see if I can diagnose that a little bit. The text is nice and big. I think that'll make it good enough. Let's see. CTY, gotcha. Thanks for stopping by, CTY. Hopefully you can see well enough of that. Let's go back to this tutorial. Button.pack side equals tk.left. That's going to move it over to the left side. You mean the project file's on the left? Yeah, it's probably just the resolution isn't quite good enough to handle that. So sorry about that. But the code they can see the code just fine, so you don't have to zoom in crazy big. It's the project files on the left that are kind of blurry. But let's not worry about that for now.
None of this is important. Like seriously.
Yeah, just hide it. We don't even need to see it. And then
wait, so line 12. What did I just do? Button.pack is a method, I guess, of button of from somewhere
of tk enter. Let me do some quick. The pack geometry manager packs widgets relative to the earlier widget. TK literally packs all the widget one after the other in a window. We can use options like fill, expand, and side to convert this geometry manager. Oh, okay. So it's a thing that manages the shapes of the buttons, and instead of putting them on a grid, it just fills in the spaces.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
And then the next thing we need is root.mainLoop. Main loop. Yeah. And we should be ready to run this and see the whatever text on your button.
Okay, what? You're telling me to run this?
Yeah.
Like open idle. Wait. What happened? What's going on here? Oh, I'm not in Colmac. Does anybody else here not use QWERTY? Or is it just me?
CTY says, why don't you do an online bootcamp on Twitch for Python? That is an exciting idea. What is that emoji? I can't quite see it on my screen. So why use pack over grid replace? Well, the honest answer is it was on the first tutorial that I found that looked like I could adapt in place. It depends on... pack probably gives you more flexibility, where grid requires everything to be held onto a grid, would be my guess.
What am I doing here?
Go back to Adam and save the file.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. And run it? Okay, so I got an idle here. I don't know if that's showing up on the stream.
It's currently not showing on the screen.
There it is. Oh, that's not the right one. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's okay. We'll get through this.
All right. Okay. So there is an idle capture that is working. Let me see if I can grab that on here.
I do see what looks like an idle window now.
Hang on. Yeah, but it's the wrong one.
Okay.
Idle 2, create 2. That looks better. But like, oh man, this is the right one. All right. Okay. I feel like this is what I showed when I executed that. So this is what I'm getting.
This is looking at, we're seeing the file. Is this what it showed you when you executed the file?
Execute. F5 for execute. Oh God, unexpected indent. Ah!
Oh, everything is indented by. Okay, well we'll have to go
Much.
fix that in your Atom file.
Oh shit. Okay. So okay. Let's see. Everything's in there too much. Okay, so that's easy. Let me see that. Tinker elp.py. Does this recognize that I did that? I don't know.
Unclear. It's kind of confusing when you're using.
Oh, I got whatever text.
You got
I
a
don't know if
button?
you see it. Yeah. I did get a button. Hang on. Let me go to OBS. Let me see if this window is recognized. Oh no, I don't want that scene. Window. Window capture. ID result. Call it. Okay. And
And we've got whatever text. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So that's a good first step. It means tkinter is running on your machine. The next thing I'd like to do is, instead of whatever text, let's just display the first element from your file that we read in.
All right. Yeah.
Let's just show that
okay.
on the screen.
Let's see here. So where did
CTY from Twitch asks, "What are you trying to do? A game, app, or question mark?" We are trying to do an app, and I will leave it to Watch Then Friend to describe the concept of this app.
Greetings. Thank you so much. So let me describe this app. The user has a set of data that they would desire to input into multiple fields across multiple platforms, applications, web pages, etc., etc., etc. The most important thing is that the user has a CSV, a comma separated value data spreadsheet format thing file that each element, once this program reads it, reduces to a 1D array, a single array, where each element, regardless of its column or row or line, is just a single element in this array. And the program presents each element of this array in a GUI formatted as a number pad. So the first element of the array is presented in a GUI within the square of where the number 1 should be on that GUI. And again, for the number 2 element, the number 2 element should present what that number 2 element is. And when the user presses the corresponding key, it prints or copy pastes that data to wherever that cursor is. And in the event where the data set is greater than 9 elements, pressing the plus key or the minus key increments the data set by 1 or by -1, unless you hold in the future, if I am able to do this, the control key. If you hold the control key and press plus, it increments by 9 or decrements by 9, so that you're presented with the next block of the data, the CSV. I hope that makes sense. My goodness, if it doesn't, please yell at me.
I think that made sense. So to sum it up, we have data in a CSV. We want a convenient GUI with buttons so that we can pull that data to our clipboard and drop it into, say, a website or something like that.
And this is because I've filled out so many forms as a less than truckload freight advisor, where I had to input the customer's data with the destination data, and for whatever reason, the less than truckload freight forwarder's site would crash or whatever, and I would lose all the data and be like, God damn it, I just entered all this in. Why did it all get lost? I wish I had it stored somewhere else, where I could just quickly copy and paste it without having to copy each cell and paste each cell. Oh.
By the way, your burger face is hidden behind some idle window.
Oh yeah,
Let's
I'm
bring
not
that to the front.
so concerned about my burger.
Oh, I like the burger face. I think that's an important aspect of the stream.
Oh,
tonight.
thank you.
Actually, another important aspect of the stream is I want to have this light on so my face comes out a little brighter. Uh-huh. Yeah. So yeah, we've got that. So the next question is, how do we combine the code from your reading file? 1 second. Wenmill on Twitch asks, and Wenmill, thanks for stopping by. Sorry, I didn't notice it was you before. So it's like applying data from a CSV file into a key binding on your numpad. Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
That's well put. Thank you, Wenmill. So one way we could do that is simply to copy paste all of that code into tkinter elp.py. But I don't want to do that. I want to import that code as a module. So the first thing we need to think about is, what's the directory structure?
Wait, can you why do you want to do that?
Let me think about this for a moment. I think I might like to share my screen for a while and put together. Wenmills points out you can separate your GUI and main code for organization. That's one good reason for it. I'm getting an OBS no signal from you, but I'm going to.
Yeah, I stopped. You said you wanted to say, so I stopped my.
Okay, yeah.
Kick it back up. But yeah, I'm right here. I'm still here.
I'm gonna go to a new iTerm window and talk about what I mean when I say Python modules. I think that could use some introduction here. So
literally my first time ever, attempting Python.
Oops.
Maybe
sorry,
what I built right now.
I cut out. Sorry, I cut out your audio for a moment there because I was just trying to hide your video. CD workspace, mkd make directory 2022 0518 mkdir 2022 0518 cd 2022 0518 make directory test project, sure, why not, cd test project, now touch main.py and make directory more cd more touch there's got to be a better thing to call it than file.py. Let's call it resources.py. And then I'm going to edit resources.py, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some data in here. Data equals 1 5 3 2 4 6 5. Sure, why not? And let's say that oh, go ahead.
Should I have any understanding of what's going on right now?
I should move more slowly. Let me do one more thing.
I'm watching you typing things. I'm not seeing what you're typing or what you're doing.
This is not some Git magic. I haven't touched Git. Vim main.py. Oops. Sorry, I'm thinking faster than I can talk. Okay. Let me talk about what I've done. I have a file named main.py, and just to check, watch then friend, you can see my screen, right?
I'm on the. No, I can't. I'm on the
Oh,
ping.gg.
I need to send my screen to ping.gg. Sorry about that.
All good.
Um, where is ping.gg? Did I close the window? Oh gosh.
I mean, I see you, but I don't see what you're doing.
Yeah, sorry. I'll fix that. Um, oh, there it is. I found it. Um, you know what? This is hacky, but what if you watched the Twitch stream?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, yeah, pull up the Twitch stream and it has my window.
Twitch.tv/
Error codes.
Eric Codes. Let's see if that pulls up. Unless you've got a time machine, that content is under that. Okay. I think I got the right one. Unless I can't spell. Oh, I can't spell. I forget that I don't know how to. I don't know how to read. This looks appropriate.
Okay.
I think we're in business.
So you should see something that says main.py more resources.py.
I'm still loading up the Twitch web page, but
Okay.
it's actually loading instead of saying that this Twitch user doesn't exist. Okay, yeah, okay. So you get green background with an IDE that's black background in the center of that green background. So
yep, it's actually a terminal, not an IDE.
Yeah, terminal. Yeah, okay.
But that's okay. I'm going to show you.
Forgive my ignorance.
It's okay. I'm going to show you the contents of main.py. And I'm going to show you the contents of more/resources.py. So let's pretend for a second that data was actually like a complicated script to call a database and do a bunch of other stuff, or read a CSV or what have you. I'm going to edit main. Actually, I'm going to do one more step first. Touch more/init.py. That tells Python that what we have is a module. A module is just Python code in a file that's available to other Python files.
Okay.
So if I vim main.py, from more import resources. Is that what I called it? And I'm gonna change slightly the way I write this. I'm gonna define def get data as data equals data equals 1 2 3 4 5 return data. So now in main.py, I'm gonna say we'll still print hello, but we'll also say print resources. No, we'll say data equal resources dot get data print data. And if I did this right, I should be able to do python main.py. Okay, yeah, and it prints out hello and it prints the data. How's that sound?
Um, what?
Thank you for being honest. Okay. Let's read main.py.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me. Perhaps it would be beneficial for me to describe my background.
Pardon my excitement. Go ahead and explain what you need to explain.
So at one point, I was offered a college course called Symbolic Logic, and I found it very exciting. I thought it was very cool to be able to break down statements from people such as politicians or whatever, and to break down their statements and to convert what they were basically saying into symbols, and then to convert those symbols into what we call truth tables, and then to determine whether or not whatever was being actually said in any given speech was providing any real information or just providing bullshit, basically. So I thought that was cool. Um, a couple of years after college, I joined an audio engineering school, a technical school, where after 9 months you would get a certificate. During that time, one of my teachers explained to me this idea of a program called Autohotkey, where they were able to, with the tap of a foot pad, um, randomly generate a bunch of characters to name their next music file, or to tap the tempo of the current file they were using. They were just able to use Autohotkey to do some cool things. I didn't know anything about programming at the time. I just recognized the name, where a couple years later I found myself in an office environment where I was repetitively copying, pasting URLs into specific, sub strings of other URLs. And I said, this is boring. This is stupid. I remember this professor from this technical school saying a program called Autohotkey. Let me take a look at it. So I took a look at it and was able to develop these macros that, would basically do advanced copy pasting that would eliminate, like 10% of the average handling time of every single operator in my department that I built from scratch without knowing what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And just accidentally said, hey, I'm saving 10% of your company's time. Help. And they didn't help. They gave me a raise, but they didn't really like recognize that like I had some programming talent and that maybe they should try to nurture it. So I just kind of got let go. And in the interim years since, I've gotten curious about Google App Script. And when I found myself in Florida, applying to random jobs on Craigslist for administrative assistance, I found a company where I was able to build a Google App Script program to run their their payroll automation. But like I don't know, I don't know what I didn't know what I was doing then. I don't really know what I'm doing now. All I know is that I was able to save this person from doing 90 minutes of manual labor and turn it into 5 minutes of manual labor through my skills of problem solving as a programmer. So like I was like, I should be able to do something with this. But like I've just gone through a lot since then, like a lot of family issues, like a lot of like personal like tragedies and strife.
I'm sorry.
And
Yeah.
I'm just recently like in a place where I'm like willing and able to try to improve myself. So that's where I found you. That's where I found this channel. That's where I found the stream. So yeah, like my background is not formal at all. I have no idea what I'm doing in the program. All I know is what I've learned with this very, very high level macro script of Autohotkey. and some very basic logic principles, and the idea of what you can do with that. Like that's who I am. That's my background. I hope that helps inform my my skill set, my lack of thereof skill set. And like that's why I'm here. Like what am I doing, or why am I hitting a wall whenever it comes to programming, and how can I get better?
Well, thank you for going into that, and I'll bear that in mind and try not to let my excitement run away with myself in making things too technical too quickly. What I will do is I'd like to open up another tab, and hopefully I can pull it off here. Yes, I can. Um, Pardon me while I do some quick typing to hopefully make this easier to understand. Okay. Um, Pay no attention to PyCache, but do pay attention to I'm going to open up more/resources.py. And let's look at the contents of that file. We have a variable called data.
Where am I looking here?
Oh, sorry, looking at the Twitch stream.
Okay. Over there.
So there's a file main.py. There's a directory more, and I can make this bigger. Make it much bigger. And there's a file resources.py inside of that directory. Let's look at the contents of resources.py. Oops. The contents of more/resources.py. Vim is a text editor, by the way. So if
Still bringing things up here. Okay, so I'm just seeing what's coming up on the Twitch stream. On the left here, I see a bunch of terminal commands. Yeah, in the center. Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna type in a command vim, which is a text editor, more, which is a directory that I created, and resources.py is a Python file which I created. We're now going to look into the contents of that file.
Okay.
So this is a Python file called resources.py, and in that file I have data equal, bracket 1532465. Just some arbitrary data.
Mm-hmm.
So far, so good. Now I'm gonna run the command vim text editor on the file main.py. And this first line is saying from the directory more import resources.
Okay. So like just from my understanding, again, like I've learned Autohotkey, which I don't know if you're familiar with. Probably not.
I'm not familiar with it.
It's like I guess I've heard it described as a super high language, a high level language.
Mm-hmm.
Like what it mostly does is it takes over your mouse and keyboard basically. So you can like say move your mouse to this coordinate, click at this coordinate. Once you've clicked your mouse at this coordinate, wait 500 milliseconds and then type in this using your keyboard, using the user's keyboard. Like that's like what Autohotkey is. Yeah. So that's my familiarity is so beyond. It's like such a different level than what programmers do, because like what I love about programming, what I find so exciting about programming is its simplicity. All we're basically doing is making modifications to files and folders somewhere, and like any user of any computer, despite whatever they're interacting with in a GUI, that's all they're really doing. They're updating files in some folder somewhere, right? Like, or am I crazy?
Um, Basically, computers are just writing files in folders and doing the things that the files in the folders tell the computer to do.
Uh,
I think you're onto something. At least if unless I just contradicted what you said, in which case I misunderstood you.
no, no, you took it to the next level. You took it to like beyond what the layman's understanding could be. Where like there are files in folders. When you activate that file, the file does something. That's like beyond.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. But yeah, I don't know. Um, I taught myself Autohotkey. I was able to do some really cool things there, like this project that I'm hoping you can help me with. I've already built and done. Like I've already made it. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's done,
You've done it in
completed.
Autohotkey.
but like it's in Autohotkey, which is not a marketable language. Like I don't know where to find a job, um, you know, coding Autohotkey.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas there are a lot of jobs where people code with Python. So that's like kind of why I'm here.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh, hey, I'm just noticing the chat has gotten away from me in on Twitch. So I'd like to take a pause and attend to our friendly chatters. Uh,
Fantastic.
um, let's see. I already said that from Wenmill. Wenmill asks, "Is this some Git magic?" It was not Git magic. I haven't done Git. Wenmill asks, "Why aren't you able to just reference the function without get, without dot get?" Without dot get. I'm gonna breeze past that because I kind of changed the way it was written. I also don't totally understand that question. But CTY asks on Twitch, what if a function has an inner function? Can I call the inner function without the parent from a module? Or scope doesn't let me. Um, a function has an inner function. I don't know if you could call that or not. I haven't ever tried to do that pattern. Wenmill says at CTY, it's probably best to write the function on its own and then call it inside the other function. CTY says that's fair. I just want to know if there's a way to do it differently from just writing it. Wenmill says, my suggestion for the hamburger on the screen is to begin with learning syntax and data types before jumping into a project like this. CTY says, I think it is better straight to projects. I learn better like that. Well, here's the first controversy of the night. Mr. Hamburger Face, do you have an opinion on this one? Projects or basic syntax?
Yeah, I do. I do. Like I said, I've already made this. This is not a project that I'm trying to, bring from my imagination into reality. I've already done that, but I've done it in a language that is, slow, very high level, and difficult to implement. And I'm here to learn how to rebuild this project in a way where I can upload it to something like GitHub and present it to the world and allow people who would benefit from this tool that I wish I had multiple times in my experience as an administrative assistant, and allow other people to benefit from my frustrations, I guess. So that's I have an understanding of the logic. I have an understanding of how it can be done. I don't have a good understanding of Python libraries, of implementation of GUIs in Python. And I do understand that Python is a very popular language and that it would benefit my, marketability if I understood it better. Cheers. Thanks.
You did that. That's all good, but you didn't really answer the question of learning syntax or diving into projects first. And which one did you
I
do when you
I
started on
mean, I guess
Python?
I don't really understand that question since I prerequisite with I've already built this project. I've already completed this project. So I don't understand like what that means to go straight to the project. I've already made it. I know the logic behind it. I don't understand the translation of the logic from Autohotkey logic to Python logic, I guess. Also, having no formal background, um, there's something to do with database structure and like API or something that might benefit, my ignorance that I just don't fully grasp.
Let me think, because I've got a couple different directions we could go right now. Um, I could continue describing this and then implement it in your project, or I could kind of jump tracks and there's a book. No, I don't want to go through a book on stream right now. That's not what I want to do.
Well, I consider myself a professional audio engineer and voice actor. If you need anyone to read text to you in a dramatic fashion
You know what?
or a more calm manner,
Let's do this thing. Green tea press think Python 2e.
by the way, while there is a moment for me to just kind of wax poetically, thank you so much for allowing me on your stream. Thank you so much for offering to help a lowly soul such as myself, just some wandering programmer lost in the world of languages and syntax. I really appreciate people like you out here doing what they can to push it forward, pay it forward, and allow your knowledge base to expand the greater knowledge base and make projects in the better in the future.
You're very welcome. It's nice to hear that. Well, I think I need someone to dramatically read some text for me.
If only there was such a person on the stream with a voice talent such as mine to provide such a service. If only there were text on the screen which one could read.
If only there was some. Before I let you loose on that, I'm going to catch up on the Twitch chat, which says Wendell says if you understand the logic, then you need to know the syntax and rules of Python in order to translate it. You know what I'm saying? So I think the point that Wendell is making is yes, you know how the program needs to operate, but you don't know the bits and bobbles of Python that will allow you to implement that.
And let me just say that I am on the Twitch stream, so I did see that paragraph. I see Site Junior's response and Windmill's additional response to that. But I will say that um, coming from Autohotkey, I just made a post on Reddit praising Autohotkey's documentation. Seriously, AHK's documentation is the best documentation I have ever seen. They have a code block example of every single element in their language. It's insane. It's so good. Windmill has provided a link here. I'm going to go ahead and click on it dangerously. I like to live dangerously.
Live dangerously, yeah.
Circles. Yeah. Okay. This looks to be a kind of educational website that I would have to browse. Not exactly tied to any kind of language or anything like that. But I'm curious to learn. I love to learn. Something that I think is lacking in today's society is the fear of being wrong. Being wrong isn't something to be afraid of. I think it's a strength. It just tells you that you can learn if you're wrong. That there is something out there that you were wrong about, and that it's okay to be wrong about, and just grow and learn better and get better and be a better person. So yeah, please tell me I'm wrong. I, I, I want to know. I want to know if I'm wrong. I want to learn the right way. I want to do the right things. So I don't shy away from it. I don't be like, oh my gosh, what you're saying doesn't align with my truth. No, I am not like that. Thank you. Thank you for contradicting me. Why am I wrong? If your arguments are valid, if they're backed up by fact, I am so happy to hear them, and I'm very happy to change my view.
Sorry, I just chuckled at Wendell said spoken like a true politician.
Yeah, I know. I saw that, but there are going to be that's a valid
Pardon me.
response to people who for I don't know what I said that like
No, I don't know,
listen
and
to
it's
that.
kind of hard with with the chat. Um,
Ooh,
Bad Cop.
thanks, bad cop.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks, Bad Cop. This looks really interesting.
I'm gonna tab that out, bookmark it for sure. I'm gonna keep looking at it. I wish I had the attention span to look at all these, but like I'll bookmark it and maybe I'll get to it. I'm trying to build a schedule of cleaning my bookmarks monthly or something like that. Just like filtering through
Oh,
it.
so this
So
actually lets you. That is so
oh
interesting.
yeah, okay, cool, 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 cool. Oh man, that's so cool.
A Python wrapper around Autohotkey. Here,
Right. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah. Oh man, that's so dope. Cheers. Absolutely.
So this, let me get this. Yeah,
Bad
that's a
cop. You're
locate
my
this.
good cop. You're my good cop, bad cop.
It lets you control Autohotkey from Python. That is a really quick and dirty and excellent solution of a way to do this problem. I think it circumvents what Mr. Hamburger is. Is it okay if I call you Mr. Hamburger?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. What Mr. Hamburger is trying to accomplish, which is to learn the language of Python. This AHK project, by wrapping around AHK, it kind of does everything for you.
Right.
But it's really
But
cool
like,
that it exists.
yeah. I mean, that defeats the like I've said. I don't know if Bad Cop was around when I mentioned this, but I've already built this project in AHK. And like the whole purpose of coming to this channel was to kind of learn Python and kind of um, take the things that I learned doing AHK, the logic base, like the thing that you can translate to any programming language, and see if I could do that with Python. That was the most important thing to me. Seeing if I could take my programming skills, my problem solving skills, and taking the logic that I had already built in AHK, which is very high level, and rebuilding it into something like Python, where Python is a much more popular language than AHK is. Like I've never seen a job posting for AHK, where I've very often seen job postings for Python.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of Python, I'd like you to read the preface of this book and tell me what you think of it.
Uh, what the which book?
Oh, do you see on the Twitch
On the
stream?
Twitch screen? Yeah.
This is
The
Think Python.
PyPy.
Oh, maybe there's some latency going on.
Uh, yeah, I'm seeing you're on ahk.py. Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. It's building at the examples mouse from HK keyboard,
How
Windows.
far
Yeah,
behind
yeah.
is my Twitch stream?
Count to
Twitch
10,
stream.
and I'll start counting at 1. Count, and I'll start
One,
counting
or
at 1.
yeah,
Count, and I'll start
1,
counting at
2,
1. Count,
3,
and
4,
I'll start
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3,
So you should see
4,
chapter
5.
0, the strange history of this book.
Like I said 1 as soon as you said 10. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Okay. Let's see. Where am I here? Where's Discord? There it is. Okay. Wait, so what's happening?
Do you see chapter 0 preface?
There's your purpose. Go to the stream. I'm on the Twitch screen here. Okay, yeah, okay.
This is where I would like some dramatic reading.
Wait, what? No, that okay. I see it on your Twitch screen, but I want to pull it up on my own browser.
Oh, that's what you want to do. Let me just Discord that to you.
Yeah.
Or to make better. yes, quite.
Okay. Buy this book at Amazon.com. Chapter 0 Preface. The Strange History of This Book. In January 1999, I was preparing to teach an introductory programming class in Java. I had taught it 3 times, and I was getting frustrated. The failure rate in the class was too high, and even for students who succeeded, the overall level of achievement was too low. One of the problems I saw was the books. They were too big, with too much unnecessary detail about Java, and not enough high-level guidance about how to program. And they all suffered from the trapdoor effect. They would start out easy, proceed gradually, and then somewhere around chapter 5, the bottom would fall out. The students would get too much new material too fast, and I would spend the rest of the semester picking up the pieces. 2 weeks before the first day of classes, I decided to write my own book. My goals were: keep it short. It is better for students to read 10 pages than not read 50 pages. Be careful with vocabulary. I tried to minimize jargon and define each term at first use. Build gradually. To avoid trapdoors, I took the most difficult topics and split them into a series of small steps. Focus on programming, not the programming language. I included the minimal useful subset of Java and left out the rest. I needed a title, so on a whim, I chose How to Think Like a Computer Scientist. My first version was rough, but it worked. Students did the reading, and they understood enough that I could spend class time on hard topics, the interesting topics, and, most important, letting the students practice. I released the book under the GNU Free Documentation License, which allows users to copy, modify, and distribute the book. What happened next is the cool part. Jeff Elkner, a high school teacher in Virginia, adopted my book and translated it into Python. He sent me a copy of a translation, and I had the unusual experience of learning Python by reading my own book. As Green Tea Press, I published the first Python version in 2001. In 2003, I started teaching at Olin College, and I got to teach Python for the first time. The contrast with Java was striking. Students struggled less, learned more, worked on more interesting projects, and generally had a lot more fun. Since then, I've continued to develop the book, correcting errors, improving some of the examples, and adding material, especially exercises. The result is this book, now with the less grandiose title Think Python. Some of the changes are I added a section about debugging at the end of each chapter. These sections present general techniques for finding and avoiding bugs and warning about Python pitfalls. I added more exercises ranging from short tests of understanding to a few substantial projects. Most exercises include a link to my solution. I added a series of case studies, longer examples with exercises, solutions, and discussion. I hope that wasn't an explosion beep, but anyway, I'm going to keep on going. I expanded the discussion of program development plans and basic design patterns. I added appendices about debugging and analysis of algorithms. The second edition of Think Python has these new features. The book and all supporting code have been updated to Python 3. I added a few sections and more details on the web to help beginners get started running Python in a browser, so you don't have to deal with installing Python until you want to, excuse me. For chapter 4.1, I switched from my own turtle graphics package. Let me restart this little bullet point.
Woo Python 3.
For chapter 4.1, I switched from my own turtle graphics package called Swampy to a more standard Python model, Turtle, which is easier to install and more powerful. I added a new chapter called The Goodies, which introduces some additional Python features that are not strictly necessary, but sometimes handy. I hope you enjoy working with this book and that it helps you learn to program and think like a computer scientist, at least a little bit. Alan B. Downey, Bowling College.
Very well rendered. There's a lot of contributor lists, so let's skip over that for now. Oh, the bottom of it again says buy this book on Amazon, but it's free online. So, do what you want to do.
Support the artists or use the material for your own gain, but remember, you stand on the shoulders of giants.
This Alan B. Downey is kind of a giant when it comes to teaching Python. I think this is a book that helped me a lot. I think I have fond memories of learning Python from this book.
Well, thanks for letting me read that description.
You're welcome. We have Bad Cop, Bad Cop, this is the way. Go back and buy the book once you get paid for writing Python. This is the way.
I love it. That's good advice.
Yeah, CTY says pay him after you learn.
Hey, I love voice acting. I'm happy to narrate, read stuff. I have a kind of a vision of humanity. I don't know if you'll allow me to spew my beliefs on this channel.
I will allow it, at least for as long as I choose to.
Yeah, I hope it's not controversial. I mean, how much does one person need to rake in as an annual salary to live comfortably? That number is it greater than 80,000 a year? I hope not, because if that value of living comfortably equates to something like that, getting a salary of 80,000 a year, then you can have, like $7 million and live comfortably on a salary from that fund for several decades, probably up until your death. So I just really wonder why there are people who amass hordes of money greater than $10 million, 12 million, billions of dollars. What are they doing with this money, man? Like, I would be so happy if I could live the rest of my life on like $60,000 a year. If I didn't have to do anything, how awesome would that be? There are people, who can do that.
And quitter with it. Yeah, I mean,
what? Yeah,
if
I
people
don't
didn't have
know.
money
I
like
don't
that,
know.
they wouldn't be able to go around and buy Twitter.
Right,
How's that for an answer?
I mean,
Although,
like, why are?
if you could ask,
Can you
does
explain
anyone
to me
need to
why
own
I? Can
Twitter?
you explain to me, like, I'm five, why there are billionaires in the world? I don't think anyone can. That's an unrealistic designation. I just implore people like you, people that might listen to this, people who are so smart that they really do have the potential to make those kinds of figures of money, to understand, or maybe not understand. I don't know. But like, what do you do with more money than you could possibly spend in a typical lifetime? If you lived humbly, what do you like? Why would you do such extra? I'm word vomiting right now. As an idealist, I'm sorry.
I think it's an inefficiency in the capitalist system. Write Python code to fix the economy now, Eric. Okay, here we go.
if
Um,
user if user account is greater than 7 million,
here we go.
then their account cannot grow. Period.
Oh wait, I need to bring
Dot.
back my. Where did I put my? I put it over there.
If user account greater than 7 million, everything else goes to the rest of humanity until everybody has enough money to live comfortably and,
Here we go.
support projects that they believe in that will benefit humanity. Please,
Def
please.
fix def fix economy of people total money equals 0 per person and people. Total money plus equals person dot money. Okay.
Did you just solve it? Did you
I'm
just like
halfway there.
fix the world? Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Fund equals actually for total money. Let's do this differently. Oops, what did I just do? Fix it. Fund equals 0. Minus equal person dot money. For person and people. If person equal error codes. Person dot money plus equal fix it fund. Fix it. There. Okay, well the chat's kind of moving. This is good. But Master Python moved to the Bay and joined the elite class. Windmill. I avoid loops like the plague. I applaud you already. Well, I didn't avoid loops. This is a loop. This is a loop. It's just a Python way of writing loops. What then, friend? I feel like trying to code a numpad copy-paste app pales in comparison to solving individual greed, lol. I appreciate the attempt, though. Wendell says, the iPhone app that solves individual greed ironically has microtransactions and ads. Bad cop fix it fund equals sum map lambda p dot money people. Yeah, that works. That's what I'm saying. I can't stand writing loops, says Windmill. So there it is.
Oh my God,
They fixed it. It's all
we
okay
did
now.
it! This is the greatest stream that ever existed. We solved the economy problem here, right here, ladies and gentlemen. You've witnessed history in the making.
You saw it here. Ship it. Okay. Let's do this.
Oh, oh man.
Let's see. Move fix it fund. Move fix.py to fix it fund fix.py. Bad Cop says, wait, doesn't this just make one super ultra mega billionaire? Shush.
No. He's right. He's right. But that ultra mega billionaire is the state that ultimately looks out for its population. Ideally, optimally, hopefully. There's nothing that can go wrong with that, right?
Okay, let's go to Air Codes community, new repository, fix it. Owner is Air Codes community. This is a public repo. We'll give it the MIT license.
Oh, I am honored to be a part of the greatest macro program for the economy of an entire,
Origin.
first world GDP. This is such an honor to be taking part of. Thank you so much.
Let's see, what did I do wrong here?
Wait, you did something wrong? Oh no! The whole world's gonna fall apart. Ah!
No, I'm gonna do this. Git add fix.py git commit. I shouldn't have added I should not have added the license to the repository. That's gonna make this more difficult. But add fix.py git checkout main.
I don't know why we're not getting more news coverage for solving the greatest economic crisis of our generation right here in this Twitch chat.
Git merge fix it. Okay, fine. Git checkout fix it at fix it fix.py. There we go. Git checkout main. Then fix it. Wait, where are we? Oh yeah, it's not there. Duh. Git add fix.py git commit. I need to change my privacy settings on GitHub. Pardon me while I take care of that. do I? Okay. Now I can do git push. Okay, that took more fussing than I think it should have done. Your organizations, error codes community, fix it. Okay. And then let's go to Twitch. We got to get the right profile for that. Wait, why
By
is it
looking at
still
the
not
menu.
logged
I
in?
mean,
This is confusing. Oh, that's because I'm in the wrong window. There we go. Bad cop, you've got. Wendell said, "Bad cop, you've got the business mind this outfit needed." Backup says we need to track the Fix-It fund on an immutable ledger. Yes, definitely. Wendell says we're going to see the news about Eric mysteriously disappearing on page 31 of the newspaper under an ad for the local land guy. Oh, bad cop, git rebase main. Yeah, I probably could have used that. Watch the friend. I'm so sorry, Wendell. You are so committed to this bit, and I love it. Anyway, about copy pasting a variable, and I paste the. By the way, I will absolutely consider pull requests against this repo for other satirical fixes to world problems. Any language, any programming language. It can be an Autohotkey for all I care, as long as it has a satirical solution to a global problem. I will consider it.
Oh man! All right, good. Thank you so much. This has been a treat, a treasure, and so informative that I need to change my pants.
Well, we didn't get that far into your project, but bad
No,
cop
I know,
opened a
but
PR. Okay, this I gotta see.
this has been fun.
Fix indentation. Did I get the indentation wrong? I absolutely got the indentation wrong.
Well, I guess I need to find a new mentor who knows a thing or two about it.
Who knows a thing or two, or else who uses VS Code to get syntax highlighting to give warnings when these things are.
I guess. I
wrong.
mean, like, has anything I've been doing like seemed like obnoxiously wrong or like just so out of left field that like no, you should not be doing this. Like, I don't know.
I will say you overused comments for my taste.
Okay, that's only because I'm an idiot when it.
But it depends on the audience, and if you're writing this for you and the comments help you remember what the code means that you wrote, then I think they're worth having.
Yeah, again, like I have no idea what I'm doing, so like I'm like just just overly informative, just in case when I come back, because I've never used GitHub or any Git before, and up until like literally a week ago, and I was like, wow, I wish I'd use this because I've made a lot of Google App Script things.
What is
Just
Google
for
App
myself.
Script?
It's TypeScript, but it's like Google's variety of it. It's Google's flavor of it. Like Google, any Google thing you open, whether it be Google Doc, Google Sheets, Google Form, those kinds of things. There's usually a sub menu where you can open a script editor, and it's very like JavaScript in programming it.
In
And
fact,
that was like my
In
Yeah.
fact, on the Google Script Apps Script website, it says a cloud-based JavaScript platform that lets you integrate with and automate tasks across Google products.
Yeah. Yeah. So like you can build the script within the file itself, or you can build like a standalone Google app script and call on files and folders and things like that. And like that was like really my first foray into programming, was being able to manipulate Google up until the point where I was able to make something profitable for a company, where I was able to reduce like their handling time of producing payroll sheets from 90 minutes to 5 minutes. Like that was like the first program I was really proud of.
Cool, cool.
It's the program I wrote is gross. It's disgusting. I would never want to read it ever again.
Ha.
But like I've gotten to a point now where I made a like I learned how to make a main file, and like build functions that are ugly to read, um, but like have easily readable function names, and then put all of those functions into the main file and make it a lot easier to read for like a user. And like something I made recently was a journal app where it would update Google Documents with the most recent journal entry, and timestamp it and do all this kind of stuff. And I'm just really proud of that project. I'm so proud of how clean it reads. I don't know. I'm nerdy.
Hey, it's cool. It's fine to be. It's good to be proud of something that you've made. I've got an eye on the stream timer. It's been going for a little over 90 minutes. I don't know about you, but I need a stream break. So
Yeah, no, that sounds good. This has been fun, man. Thank you so much for allowing me to stream on this session. And hopefully we can do it again soon and do some more concrete stuff. Maybe in the offline world, I'll build upon what you've shown me. Thanks.
you're very welcome. Before we break, Bad Cop asks, "How did you meet the talking hamburger?" Well, obviously I went to the talking hamburger store.
That I approve. I approve of this origin story.
Okay. Well, in that case, that's what the origin story is going to be. Oops, what did I just do? You still there? Did I seriously just kill him? I did not mean to do that. I mean, I guess it works out because we were kind of winding down. It looks like he dropped off of the video call. Burger Man, what happened? Watch then friend is how do I make these things go away? I don't need to worry about that right now. Five Guys burgers and fries. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I am going to put on a timer here. And where is it? Yeah, old school break timer. I got these just a little while ago. Anyway, I'm going to get myself a drink and let you enjoy the timer and the BRB DVD screensaver. There will be no speculation running rampant tonight. Um, any requests from the chat before I maybe or maybe not get into something else? Solve the gender pay gap in one line of code. More Python. Um, okay. What happened to Think Python? I think I'm going to Think Python for a while. I think I'm not going to attempt to solve the gender gap in one line of code right now. I'm pretty tired out from solving the economic challenge. Watch Then Friends says, selfishly, I always want to talk about the sci-fi three-body problem trilogy. Not familiar with that one, but I do like me some sci-fi. You know what? New issue. What was it? Solve the gender pay gap in one line of code. Submit new issue. How about, let me check this out. Tackling the real problems. Well, at least making an issue show up so that, wait, what's this icon? I've got some follows to call out. CTY, thank you for the follow. Bad Cop, thank you for the follow. Watch Then Friend, thank you for the follow. And if I'm not mistaken, Watch Then Friend, was that a subscription? That can't have been a subscription. That's not. Wendell says, I'd be interested to see where you get with TK Inter. I struggled to get a basic GUI up with it. Well, let's look through some code that I wrote a while ago that is a base. Oops, got jib. GitHub.com and musical octo engine. Let's clone this thing. Let's check out the README. I'm gonna activate, kinda activate base. Let's just try. I'll get CTY, I'll get to that in a moment. Let's see if I can run this thing, main.py. Python, main.py. Okay, I haven't installed synthesizer. I don't really want to do this in my own environment, so let's kinda deactivate. I've already done brew install Python TK. I've already done brew install port audio. I've done git clone, cd musical auto engine. I've done Python 3-mv env venv. Get a new computer. I don't know how to delete Git from your computer. Well, if you want to just get rid of a given repository, like let me no, I don't need to git init. We have this .git folder, and if you go back on YouTube or Twitch VOD, I did something with Windmill, looking through the .git folder. But anyway, that's where a Git repository lives. Watch Then Friend on Twitch says, I made a bad Git, but I think when you do that, it just makes a Git folder. So just yeet that folder. It's probably hidden. Yeah, it will be a hidden folder. That's why I had to do ll-a to see it. But if I wanted to remove it, the command would be rm-rf.git, but I'm not going to do that right now. What's next in the steps to run this thing? Source bin v env bin activate pip install -r requirements .text. This will take a moment. Oh, I don't like where my picture is right now. Kind of in the way of things. Why is this thing down there? Okay, that's better. Not full screen code cut in half. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, that is true. Now I can do Python main.py. Give it a moment to start up. Maybe more than a moment. Welcome to Musical Octo Engine. Here it is. Sorry, it's tiny. But I can like say 1, 2, go. Oh, and it prints out the things that it did. That's kind of neat. But I wonder if you can hear that though, because I can't. But if I, oops, USB line, you heard it. Okay, let me turn it on because I want to hear it too. Okay, let's test it. I don't love how it clips off at the end of the note. That's something I kind of need to fix. But that's the Musical Octo Engine. And let's open up VS Code to take a look at this. I don't need the Get Started window. I don't need this OpenZ editor window. So import tkinter. I could refactor this so that it says as tk, but I don't know that. From util import octo sounds. So what's the I don't know if I needed to really include this in a main function, but I did. What is this def start? I guess main loop must include this, must know to call this start function, I guess. Anyway, we have variables are tkenter.intvar and tkenter.checkButton. What is master? Master equals tkenter.tk. Wendell says, Hamburger uses too many comments. Eric doesn't use any. Well, I forgot what I did 3 months ago, which is kind of a problem. Let's actually, how long ago did I last commit on this? January 17th. So it's been kind of a while. It's been more than 3 months. So anyway, that's that. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just the same. Well, master is the. Let's find out what this tkenter.tk does. Okay. The next line creates an instance of the TK class, which initializes TK and creates its associated TCL interpreter. It also creates a top level window known as the root window, which serves as the main window of the application. So what's in the TK class? Class tkenter.tk, screen name equal none, base name equal none, class name equal tk, use tk equal true, sync equal false, use equal none. Construct a top level TK widget, which is usually the main window of an application, and initialize a TCL interpreter for this widget. Each instance has its own associated TCL interpreter. The TK class is typically instantiated using all default values. However, the following keyword arguments are currently recognized. Wendell, where did you get stuck on when you were working with TK-enter? Maybe I can kind of pick up from there. Let's actually, wait, where's my terminal? Pip install TK-enter. Say what? Oh, it's already there. Okay. Cronux says, can you create a virus? No. And I think I'm going to TK-enter is built into Python, yeah. Chronox is sad. I'm sorry. Who is Mr. Robot? Chronox says, I want to learn Python. Can you recommend me a page to it? Yes, I recommend if books are your thing, I recommend Green Tea Press Think Python 2e. This is the same one that I don't know. Chronox, I don't know if what am I trying to say? What's this? I don't know if you were here for the dramatic reading. A TV show you can yell back at. Okay. Let me actually, do I have my Twitch window open somewhere? Good thing it's muted, otherwise we would be like echoing the. I'm gonna share a link to Think Python 2e. You're welcome. If you ever want to work through some of the exercises on stream, go ahead and reach out to me. There are ways to get in touch on my profile, or you can send me even a message on Twitch if you want. Let's see what comes next. Watch Then Friend says Mr. AMC. Sorry. Mr. Robot is an AMC show that featured a disgruntled white hat hacker who disrupted a major finance company. A disgruntled white hat. I'm feeling that has a chance of heading into gray hat territory pretty quickly, which is probably like the whole point of the show, I guess. I'm gonna play with my also his brain is broken. I'm gonna. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I ever pushed those changes though. Maybe I have them on a different branch. Repositories, game of life, Python, 2 branches. Oh, music. Good. I do have it there. All right, let's do code. Windmill Office says I'm off for the night. Good stream later, dude. Yep. Oh, I just bumped the mic. See you later, Windmill. I don't know how much longer I'll be on stream tonight. Oh, it's already 11. Wow, time flies. That's right, because I had that thing at yeah. Let's hope I wrote a good readme on how to Not very well documented, Eric. Not very well documented. Python my game file. Let's try it. Okay, Python my pygame file. Pip install pygame. Watch then, friend. I'm signing off. Thanks again. Looking forward to more. Yep, look, I'm looking forward to that too. Watch then, friend. I wish this was bigger. That's so tiny on stream. Does it do I have Zoom? Hey, I do. Nice. Except I want to check out a different branch. Okay, now we got this thing running, so I can show this off a bit. Any second now. So the way this works is, oops. I guess I have to do pip install pyaudio. Is there a requirements.txt? Oh, but I didn't put everything that I needed to into it. Okay. Pip install pyaudio. Now let's try game of life mypy game file. There we go. So what I can do is notice how it, oh wait, I forgot to zoom in. Let's zoom way in. The controls are a little fiddly because I didn't get the timing quite right. See how the things evolve and it makes sounds? Let's pause it again. Let's try to pause it. There we go. Pretty neat, huh? What happened? Did it die? I don't have anything planned. I should have something else planned. Well, maybe that's the sign that it's time to call it a stream for the night. Thanks to everyone who watched, and thank goodness that we solved the world economy. I'm glad we did that. I'm looking forward to your pull requests on that repository, the Fixit repository. And altogether, just